So CNN basically ran a 12-minute Kamala Harris infomercial. I wish this wasn't the case. It was painful to watch. Honestly, this is journalistic malpractice that they would run something like this. Now, if they're going to do it on the other candidates as well, like they do it for all the candidates, maybe that's less egregious, but this is pretty bad.
And the thing about predators you should know is that they prey on the vulnerable. They prey on those who they do not believe are strong. Predators are cowards. Predators are cowards.
I think you've watched her sort of evolution of being the chief prosecutor.
So I need to be correct as best I can.
I do want you to be honest.
And I'm not able to be rushed this fast. It makes me nervous.
This is who she is. She's been trained to get the truth out of folks who are not forthcoming.
Is there a person you're talking about?
I'm asking you a very direct question, yes or no?
When you think about her in a debate with Donald Trump, what is it that you would expect?
My kids to be on the couch, like obsessed.
You know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
One of her childhood friends, recalling their early years together, said, you know, Kamala's just been ready for this moment her whole life. Even as a little kid, she just got out there and she would handle business.
So the one thing about Kamala, she's consistent. She's the same person now as she was then. We got along great, you know. We were together all the time. Let me take you back to kindergarten. There was a boy that had taken something I created, and I can't remember if we were doing like clay things or baking something or what have you, and took mine and messed it up, like threw it down, broke it. And so she stood up to him, took up for me. And as a result, he picked up either a rock or a brick and, you know, hit her. And her mom had to come from work. She had to go to the hospital and get stitches, you know, on and on. She's always been one that will stand up for what she thinks is right.
I feel a sense of responsibility to stand up and fight for the best of who we are. And I'm prepared to fight, and I know how to fight.
I love this one too. So this was 1988. This is Kamala here, her mom Shamala, her sister Maya.
So Kamala was born in Oakland, but really was a child of Berkeley. She and her sister Maya were raised primarily by their mother, Shamala, who was a single mom after she separated from her husband, Donald Harris. And her mother, even though she was from India, felt that living in Berkeley, it was really important to raise Maya and Kamala as strong, powerful Black women. Kamala went to Howard University. That was where she really developed like a real sense of herself and her own power.
Howard taught me, and it has taught you. You can do anything, and you can do everything.
That goes on for 12 minutes. Let me ask you a question. What did you learn about what she would do as president in this news clip on Kamala Harris? You learned nothing of what she would do as president. You should reject, for every candidate on both sides of the aisle, whenever people are talking about said candidate and all they do is talk about character traits, you should immediately reject the commentary and throw it in the garbage and declare it utterly useless. Because what does that mean? It's just one person's perception of what they think of this other person, of this candidate. It's based on nothing objective. It's based on nothing empirical. You could just as easily find somebody else to say the exact opposite. So what does that mean? What character analysis? What good does that do? It's a way to try to distract and a way to deflect from substantive discussion about policy. It's a way to try to make the viewer feel like they relate to the candidate and they can side with the candidate, all the details and specifics aside. So I don't know, I kind of relate to this person. I kind of like this person. It's interesting to see the background of this person and where they come from and who their parents are and where they went to school. And now I know a lot about this person. I feel like I know this person, so I'm going to side with this person. Details be damned. So I feel like I'm friends with them now. So when you feel like you're friends with them, you're going to defend your friends, right? Doesn't matter the specifics, doesn't matter the details, doesn't matter what they're trying to do in terms of the direction they're taking the country substantively when it comes to policy decisions. Doesn't matter. Because I've now related on a personal level. Well, this isn't a reality show. This isn't a TV show. This isn't a movie. This isn't just your friend, a celebrity that you feel like you have a connection to. This is somebody who's trying to run the country and honestly become the most powerful person in the world. This is honestly journalistic malpractice. There's nothing critical. There's nothing about policy. There's nothing critical there. You're doing a propaganda piece. You're doing like a documentary style thing, acting like all this is relevant. And that was just jam-packed full of platitudes and cliches. Predators are cowards. Predators are cowards. The fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Predators are cowards. What? That tells me nothing about what you're going to do with the country, other than you're for good things and against bad things. You don't like bad things. You don't like bad people. You like good things and good people. One of the people here, they spoke to her childhood friends. She just got out there and handled her business. Well, okay, what exactly is her business? She's, quote, strong. She's, quote, consistent. And then you hear her, and by the way, the title of this on CNN was just as insufferable as the clip you saw. The title was one of the things that Kamala said in there, which is something like, I'm prepared to fight. I know how to fight. Even the sappy music gets under my skin, because that's an attempt to, like, emotionally manipulate you into liking what you're seeing. It's really obnoxious, and it's really annoying. Again, listen, if CNN does this with every candidate, that's still bad, but it's not as bad as if they only do it with Kamala, okay? But this is not your job. Like, listen, I'm just an asshole YouTuber with a loud mouth, and you guys get a hell of a lot more information from this show. You've learned a lot more about Kamala's record from this show than you've ever learned on CNN. And that's embarrassing, man. That really is embarrassing. So just so everybody knows, the reason why I'm so hard on her is because, first and foremost, she laughed at the idea of legalizing marijuana in the year 2014. She had a Republican challenger, and the challenger was in favor of legalizing recreational marijuana. She was asked about that position, and she laughed at it. She laughed at legalizing recreational marijuana. How many innocent people were locked up as a result of illegal marijuana? How many innocent people of color were locked up as a result of illegal marijuana? It's a lot, right? So she tries to portray herself as, hey, I'm a woman of color, I'm running for president, that means I'm definitely going to represent people of color. Well, you laughed at legalizing recreational marijuana, and there's a lot of innocent black and brown people in prison because of illegal marijuana. Not only should it be legal, we should free every single nonviolent drug offender. She laughed at it. She also strongly supports civil asset forfeiture, which, for those of you who don't know, it's a legalized robbery by cop. Cops can just jack your money, jack your car, jack your property, and then turn around and say, well, I think you were about to use that in a crime. What am I supposed to do? Just let you commit a crime? No, I'm going to confiscate your property, flip the burden of proof, and now it's next to impossible for you to get your own money and your own car back. What? I didn't do anything wrong here. I'm the law. It's a might makes right approach. And it is abysmal, and that's what she supported. She fought to keep wrongly accused people in prison on technicalities. That's literal. We've covered specific stories on that. Now, by the way, as CNN is doing this fluff job on Kamala Harris, you want to know what's happening in the real world yesterday? Kamala Harris released her student loan debt forgiveness plan, if you could even call it that. Her tweet on it is like, it's like a parody. It's like I was joking about something Kamala Harris would come up with, and I typed it out. But no, this is her real plan. Look at this. Yesterday, I announced that, as president, I'll establish a student loan debt forgiveness program for Pell Grant recipients who start a business that operates for 3 years in disadvantaged communities. Well, allow me to say congratulations to the 13 people who just got their student loan debt forgiven to an extent. Who the hell's going to qualify for that? I mean, it's unbelievable. You see, I've seen these breakdowns of, okay, here are all these people with student loan debt. Here's how much student loan debt they have. Here's how much they'd have to pay under Elizabeth Warren's plan. And here's how much they'd have to pay under Bernie's plan. So, just for argument's sake, somebody had $30,000 in student loan debt. Under Elizabeth Warren's plan, that gets cut to $10,000. So they still have to pay $10,000. Bernie Sanders' plan, they have to pay nothing. He totally eliminates all student loan debt. Kamala Harris's plan is worse than Elizabeth Warren's plan because she leaves a lot of people with their full debt burden. And she got roasted on Twitter for this. Because it's goofy. It's ridiculous. This is the exact kind of neoliberal centrism that we mock. It's you're not in favor of change, you're in favor of pocket change. You're in favor of let's not change the status quo too much because I have to balance interest between fighting for the rich and powerful and corporations and my buddies who I rub elbows with on the cocktail circuit and fighting for regular people. And that's why this segment is so obnoxious. Because it doesn't talk about policy. It doesn't talk about corruption. It doesn't talk about record. It tries to get you to like her on a personal level. But let me explain something to you guys. I think we may be at the tipping point with this stuff actually working because the mainstream media has really fallen off in terms of the support it gets from regular people. People really distrust. And it's not just Fox News. It's not just lefties distrust Fox News. That's obvious. But it's now even CNN and MSNBC, people are man, you guys sure don't do a good job. I sure don't learn anything about the direction of the country or policy when I watch you guys. And it seems like you have your favorite candidates. It seems like you have an ideology that you're repping. The ideology is defense of the status quo. The ideology is neoliberal centrism, establishment democratic politics. So definitely be okay on social issues. Don't hate minorities. Don't hate gay people. But also defend the status quo. So defend Wall Street. Defend the financial institutions. Defend the for-profit health insurance companies. You can make tweaks to improve that system, but don't question the fundamental underpinnings of that system. Don't try to do something crazy get rid of for-profit health insurance companies and replace it with everybody getting coverage for less with better outcomes. Don't be crazy like that. So it's frustrating because they do have an ideology, they do have a philosophy, they do push for it, and they're doing propaganda for their candidates, and by the way, their propaganda is really bad. It's just so bad. It almost makes people, it's the backlash effect. It makes people go, I can tell you're trying to force feed me Kamala Harris. So I don't like this. I don't like this. You can give people arguments, give people, your actual reasons behind supporting this candidate. Make a case, but they don't. It's disingenuous. It's underhanded. It's, look at the personal angle, because I actually can't make an argument based on policy, but look at the personal angle. Isn't that lovely? Vote for her. I'm telling you, man, there's a battle going on in this country. Fox News is going to back the Republicans to the hilt. Their whole philosophy is Republican good, Democrat bad. That's it. Trump good, Democrat bad. That's it. But it's always relentlessly fight for their team. Then you have MSNBC and CNN. Centrist Democrats all day long. It's Joe Biden. It's Kamala Harris. It's Pete Buttigieg. That's what CNN and MSNBC is. And then you have new media. New media is the Bernie people, the Tulsi people, But where the difference is, we are honest enough to tell you exactly what we think and who we support and make proactive arguments for those people. Unfortunately, the other actors in this are not honest actors. They pretend like they don't have an opinion. They pretend like they don't have a philosophy when they clearly do.